for you, I suppose. And I'm very super happy to have the possibility to meet you, at least in this online way. That is in any case better than nothing. Maybe you don't know, I am Ezio Manzini, and I'm opening this Desis Café. And I also bring the greetings from Teresa. She should be the one because she's the coordinator of the Desis network in this moment. But today, in this day, she's a little bit sick. So she asked me to take her part. And here I am. I have to say that I'm particularly happy to make this work of opening and in some way welcoming you to the Desis Café, because I have, as maybe some of you know, I have a very good and old relationships with your university. I think that our story started 14 years ago, something like this, with Miao Zedong. And I think since then, probably I came in China and in particular in your university, practically every year. So I have a certain, so I am accustomed. And so I can imagine where you are and more or less the kind of environment in which you are. Unfortunately, since the COVID, this very good, for me, custom to come to China, to Wuxi, has been suspended. And well, hoping to have all the opportunity to be there also physically. But I am very happy to at least be with you in this online way. Two other short things to introduce this discussion. One is on the Desis Café. I imagine that who is participating know it, but maybe there is somebody new. So I explain the Desis Café is a format, let's say, of Desis. Desis is a network that in some way supports different kind of activities, more or less complicated, more or less research-based. This one, the Desis Café, has been started by Teresa and Giselle and his team 2 years ago now. And it is a very good idea. It has been a very good idea. We have done already, maybe Gisela no, but maybe 10 or more Desis Café. And they are very important because per se it's a format that is very light. So it's simply, as the name suggests, a way to be together, to bring some information, to exchange some experiences, but in a very light and informal way. And but this very light informal way permits to many people to talk. So we have the possibility to know each other. And this is very important because now the network is quite wide. And once upon a time, who was the coordinator more or less knew everybody. Now it's not anymore so much. And therefore, it's an opportunity to know each other. So this is the Desis Café that normally is, will be in your case, you present some work that you have done, and afterward we open a little bit of discussion. And finally, the very last word, I've seen that you propose as a kind of host message, you call it, let's meet up soon. And I think that this is a very appropriate message, because we really need to meet up and to meet up soon. When we started 10 years ago, maybe the world was a little bit more, was, or at least appeared to us, more quietly going toward a convergence in between many different regions of the planet. So we creating this network, we had the impression to be totally in line with some evolution of the international evolution. Now, as you know, unfortunately, the situation is much more complicated. There are more tensions. There are even several wars, in particular in Europe. We have a war in this moment. And this means that, in my view, the need of meetings as this one are even more important because exactly because unfortunately things are going in a direction that is not the best by my, I think also your point of view. It's extremely important to maintain connections, to build bridges in between different places. So I'm very happy to be with you today. I'm sure that also the other participants will be happy with you. And now the floor is yours, as we say.
Thank you, Ezio. Thank you for your introduction. Do you see in our side, we have more than 20 colleagues and students in my office. This is so I'd like to introduce a few of them. This is my colleague Hannigan, Dr. Yu Mei.
Hello, everyone. I'm lectures from School of Jiangnan University and also doing research in Desis lab Jiangnan University.
Yes, Ezio? Oh, how can I teach you? Yeah. Let me introduce. Ezio, do you see our screen?
No.
Our view?
No. We have a black screen. At least I have a black screen now. I listen you very well. I have not listened so well the other speaking, but the screen is black.
Really?
Yes.
She said, like, do you see our view? Do you see our...
The little box on the top, I see the class.
We see all the students.
Yes, that's one.
That's
that one. One, yeah. Anyway, we have the Dr. Dong Yumei. Now she's a professor in Desis lab, but previously she was our students, postgraduate students, during the 10 years ago.
Yes.
More than 10 years ago, and also the part of the Desis lab. So we have educated one of the students to be our professor already to really enhance our Desis lab at Jiangnan University. And also Sarah is here. Maybe hello.
You see?
It's too small. The view is too small. Maybe you don't identify. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Then we have in a group of the students, postgraduate students. They are most of them are our Desis lab, and so few of them will present some project later. Anyway, we are very happy to host this Desis coffee, and the theme I proposed, let's meet up. It's really we were looking forward it for a long time after 3 years pandemic period, but we were sure not only to meet up today online, but we are going to meet up again physically. I think in the near future, especially the Cumulus conferences in Beijing in this at the end of this November. So there will be the Desis seminar for sure, and we will see how to organize better as a part of the Cumulus conferences in Beijing. Okay. Okay, so I think we may spend around 40 minutes to present a few students' project. Most of them are outcome of the course, surface design and social innovation in our school, which has been more than 10 years since 2011. So the project presented later are the part of the design proposal of the last 2 years. Most of them are from the course of this year. And they can comprehensively indicate our current research situation. So what we are concerned now. Okay. Okay, so we will invite the students to present the project one by one. Please, first one. 一个什么来着？一个什么来着？ The first one is about the child education with natural experiences.
这个吧。 OK。
已经录讲了。You see the screen?
OK。
OK。
可以看到鼠标吗？可以。
不要紧，鼠标不要紧。
So.
大声一点，你就直接说这话什么。
Okay. Hello, this is Le Yoyo. We want to provide better service design for children's experiential learning. This is us, 5 team members, and our brand Le Yoyo hopes that children can grow up happily. And let's see. This is our service design system. It can be divided into 3 parts: online, mixed reality, and offline part. First is the online part. Our platform focuses on the educational upgrade of children's knowledge. We transform traditional online courses from passive video-based learning into interactive game-based learning, where teachers are some historical and cultural figures, for example, Confucius, Lu Xun, rather than real humans. Then it's the mixed reality part. We use MR, AR to bridge the gap from the online world and the offline world. And in the real world, that is the offline part, we have 2 types of activities: outdoor education activity and child co-creation activity. First is for the outdoor education activity type. On March the 25th, we held spring treasure hunt. There are 2 special points. The first is that we integrate local organizations and resources. Mugu Farm as a venue, Desis Lab as event planner, and 9点书房 as an organizer. The second point is that we use AI to quickly plan activities. Here is our planning model. AI will link all these elements to form sessions for one activity and automatically draw the required materials like these posters and so on. These are some photos of that day. And on the May the 7th, we held the second event called Pass Through the Oracle. Obviously, the theme is around ancient Chinese oracles, encouraging children to create their own board games. And adults can take children's perspective, play what they create, and imagine what they imagine from the co-creation activities. Look at these two maps. In the quadrant A, traditional local organizations plan events for children. Children are just served in a passive and inactive way. When in the quadrant B, it's activities organized by designers like us. Although design and the plan with children, but children are still limited by the thinking of adults. So we proposed a kind of co-production activity designed by the child, greatly promoted active involvement. For example, our activity passed through the oracles, and the children design the board games. We designers will produce them, and these are the photos. Are the board games output by kids on that day. They are very interesting. Thank you for your listening and attention.
Hello, everyone. Our team will share our social innovation design project, wheelchair rental project for the community cooperated with the public welfare organization iFuture. These are our teammates. In 2018, iFuture launched the wheelchair sharing public welfare project, which aims to reduce the financial costs of patients on rehabilitation, reduce the waste of social resources, and improve the health welfare of people by providing low-priced wheelchair rental services. By March, the wheelchairs has been launched in 13 communities in Wuxi. As well known, public welfare objects always face two major challenges, which is people and funds. We have found that the demand of shared wheelchairs among patients has increased, but iFuture as a public welfare organization, making it difficult to promote and increase the shared wheelchair sets, resulting in an imbalance between supply and demand. Therefore, there is an urgent need of an innovative model to help the sustainable operation of creating the wheelchair projects. The new system we designed consists of three subsystems: service system, franchise system, and information exchange system. Create the circle from growth to replication. In this circle, the service system as a basic platform to provide shared wheelchair rental service, which is the first touch point for users to contact our project. In this step, we provide application and trigger channels for potential partners who may be willing to participate in the community's project sets and co-create with us in the future. These channels include information exchange system, online publicity, and the user's social circle. When potential partners appear, the franchise system provides them an app to dialogue and cooperation and help them manage the use and delivery of shared wheelchair. This will enable autonomous and sustainable operation of wheelchair sets through the establishment of a community. After the community self-operation is successful in one set, its experience and effect of autonomy can be replicated and expanded through the information ecosystem. Warm-hearted users can initiate an application to iFuture to claim the wheelchair set, and iFuture will then deliver wheelchair service package to community applicants. The shared wheelchair can be self-operated in the community by wheelchair service package, that the development and expansion of project no longer be limited by insufficient staff. There are two main types of role transformation. The manager, mainly responsible for the daily cleaning, publicity or donation activities of the community sites. The lobbyists who are responsible for communicating with their own communities and applying to support a claim. Such classification can reduce the time and cost of connecting with the community. As shown in the picture, you can see the role classification of community co-governance and how they relate to each other. The following is a brief presentation of the design output of our app labs and community package. These are some app labs pages. Community engagement toolkit include a share wheelchair, posters, and repair kits, cleaning kits, and these are some posters and stickers. We hope that in the future, shared wheelchairs can achieve bottom-up self-operation in communities in need, so that the inhalation of public welfare objects no longer becomes a problem, and the need of residents become the force for resources integration in this community. That is our sharing. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. So let's open the lines. Okay, 把这个摄像头打开。
那个你看这个色色。
Okay, let's go to the third one. Okay.
Okay, hello everyone. The next project is e-camping. And today we will show a social innovation and practice about rural culture reshaping in Jiangnan village. Jiangnan used to be a well-known wolf and peach blossom village, but now the rural culture is becoming increasingly weak, which needs to be picked up and rebuilt urgently. At the same time, villagers look forward to a strong sense of cultural belonging, and it's also an opportunity to enhance the corporate image and social responsibility for local rural company. So we had difficulties at the beginning. The arable land in Jiangnan can't be used to build houses, and the local planning group doesn't intend to build village homestay to provide overnight service. How can we build a day or an all-night trip in the village? Although it is difficult, also an opportunity which made us coincide with the concept of new energy vehicles. Its advantages can meet people's demand for sleep and power in outdoor scenarios. So it's time to share the concept about a new lifestyle, e-camping. What it means, the first two are electric and eco-friendly. We don't need to fear the darkness of the night and the danger of fire. New energy vehicles can provide power support for camping. Compared with traditional, there are more possibilities for outside activities, and it is more eco-friendly to get close to nature. The most important E is easy. It means camping becomes an easy and safe thing with the private space in the car and tailgate tent. New energy vehicles are just like a light RV. We don't need to carry too much. According to providing conditions of service from booking campsites, activities, and equipment to parking at campsites, e-camping empowers the ability to e-campers to change their social relations from users to participants with power, freedom, and social traffic, so that e-campers can use their greatest advantage. Then focus on the following part. We try to use Jiangnan Textile Company's vision of creating a corporate culture image and social responsibility to reach a cooperation with them. Using the company's manufacturing technology and the natural materials of the peach forest, we can recreate an exclusive cultural campsite combining peach and fabric in Jiangnan village. According to the analysis of the existing geographical environment, 4 areas are planned from the openness of the entrance to the quiet interior. Here you can plug in and really have fun, such as making peach fabric tufting, taking a peach blossom steam food bath when you are tired, and lying in the car to enjoy the peach blossoms. Sounds really novel. In summary, as a business in camping itself crosses the geographical boundaries of Jiangnan village, with the advantages of e-campers from users to participants, the cost of sustainable replication of service can be reduced. In the future, e-camping is committed to integration of locality culture. We hope to find more suitable places to unlock 100 kinds of outdoors by e-camping lifestyle. Thank you for listening. We should have a happy. Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's go next. 线上是吧？安心，你在吗？
Sorry, just give me a sec. I
I'm
should be.
here.
Can you see my screen? Yeah, okay. So, hello everyone, I'm Danny, and this design project is Gathering in the Village, and it's about Wuxi 10 Village Social Innovation Design. And they are my team members. We have the different major backgrounds, the industrial design and visual communication design. So before we proceed in this design project, we conducted a relatively comprehensive design research of all aspects of this village, like the natural environment, cultural surroundings, traffic conditions, social issues, living habits, and age range, and the relationship between the neighborhood and construction situation. So according to above research, we found some interesting things in the village, the story of this village. 40 years ago, the government built the first theaters in this area. And all people so proud of that things because it is the greatest news at that time. And these theaters attract a lot of directors to film the movie, like this One Boat movie. And in this village, they also have the wisteria flowers because these flowers was used to decorate the theaters. And the inhabitants living in this village are so friendly. They are so welcoming to the travelers from all over the world and to experience their living environment. Finally, I have to say the natural environment in this village are so pleasant and really suitable for people to have a relax. And according to the above mentioned, we also find some problems in this village. The first one is young people. There are few young people living in this village. They are all work outside to the city. And so this village want to attract a lot of young people to work here, like the island attraction, something like that. And the second one is a neighborhood interaction. Because the inhabitants living in this village are so isolated, they don't know the neighborhood is. So they want to strengthen the relationship between the neighborhood, between the people. And the third one is a playground for the elderly. Because of the village is under construction, so the elderly people wanted to have more place to kill their time. So according to the above mentioned, we want to do this. We want to use the village unique culture to arrange some entertainment activities or events. And we also want to use the social media to do the media propaganda to attract more young people to participate our activity and build the relationship with the natives and to do the cultural learning. Also, the entertainment activities and events can provide more job opportunities to the natives and to strengthen their relationship with the young people and their neighborhood. Also, the inhabitants can provide more cultural memories to our event. So finally, our design outcomes will do this. So the firstly is a branding. The branding is used to do the event promotion. So when you received our message, you just need to download the app and to get the information details and to choose your favorite scripts and make the reservation online. And then you need to go to a village to rent a dress and just like a cosplay, and to do the simple dress rehearsal. And then you can to communicate with the local people to know more local knowledge or cultural or some living habits, and then do the shot. And finally, we'll feel not so tired. You can experience the photo developing by using the traditional machine. So finally, you just need to upload your pictures online and to attract more young people to join us and to know us. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. So who's next?
Can you see my screen?
Yes, no.
Okay, fine. Hello, Desis friend. I'm very happy to share our project with you. The theme I share today is research on value generation co-creation based on community micro-vacation in old urban areas, and I selected some interesting design strategies to you. Zhoutie Communities is located in the northeast of Yixin City. It has a very rich cultural heritage and volunteer culture. This project hopes to take it as a case to provide reference for the cultural protection and tourism developments of the old block. Next, I will use the 3 topics to describe the project. In the research, we conduct a few trips, interviews, focus groups, and workshops. 3 partial observation cards were produced. We found that Zhoutie community had a variety of cultures, and so we come up with a point plan-like culture strategy. The point is a culture being, and the plan is a touch culture composed of points. We select respectively cultures as a line to connect touch points cultures to form a complete culture experience. In the practice, we take Yaodi as a brand culture. The logo integrates elements of culture resource and tourism resource. The following section is the 4 touch point cultures. Topic 2, let's talk about the sustainable development of the communities. We divide the stakeholders into 5 parts. Residents want to realize their self-worth, the government wants to reduce human inputs, and the tourists need interesting cultural experience. In this need, we propose OCT model. The curve running through it respects the investment. We hope to reduce the pressure of government's work, unleash the creativity of the residents and the tourists. We applied OCT model to the service system of micro-vacation in Zhoutie community. App is the core platform of the whole system. Residents take on the most important service work, and the tourists will have more sense of participation. The third topic is the sustainable development of the micro-vacation. We found that holidays are becoming more homogeneous, so we came up with a gamified exploration strategy. We divide the vacation into the 3 stages and adopt the personalized guide, humanistic interaction, and independent exploration to improve tourist experience. Back to the project, this strategy is reflected in our service blueprints. In the early stage, visitors get a sense of Zhoutie's home culture by receiving digital ID cards. In the middle stage, visitors will experience the human culture through AR. Finally, I'd like to make a summary. Yeah, it's a huge system. In the first plan, we construct the cultural system of Zhoutie community through the points plan-like cultural strategy. In the second one, we construct the management system through the OCT model. And in the third one, we construct the interaction mechanism system of micro-vacation through gamified exploration strategies. That's a process that from inside to outside to realize the value generation of Zhoutie's community. That's what I shared this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we still have to let 是线上，是线上，线下好。结束一下。那个思怡，你把共享结束。OK， 把这个摄像头打开。Okay, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chen Hui. On behalf of my team, I would like to share the project content of our social innovation and service design course. This is our team. The issue we chose at that time was social standardization, a research project on how traditional home villages can achieve sustainable development in modern society. In the early research, firstly, we conducted literature research by collecting data on the summarize our research strategy based on relevant literature. The research strategy is mainly divided into three parts, namely the strategy tactical layer and operational layer. The strategy guidance research used and at the overall level. Secondly, we investigated the various resources of Dudong village and found that its cultural resources are unique, while its natural resources are also very high quality. Therefore, we believe that from a cultural perspective, relying on the literature resources of Dudong village.
Wait a moment, I think the PPT doesn't work going well. Okay. Now it works. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Secondly, we investigated the various resources of Dudong village and found that its cultural resources are unique, while its natural resources are also very high quality. Therefore, we believe that from a cultural perspective, relying on the natural resources of Dudong village for tourism project development may be a good opportunity. Next, we conducted a brainstorming to fully explore possible design opportunities and ultimately choose the Biu Dongtian cultural tourism plan among the three optimist design directions. The Biu Dongtian project is the service design project that relies on the natural resources of Dudong village and uses its resources for tourism development. In the construction phase of the design scheme, we set up this service design project by using the means and methods of service design, brand design, collaborative design, and interaction design. In the same time, in order to ensure the sustainable and healthy development of local culture, we have adopted a collaborative design approach to fully involve local residents in this service project. They have not only gained economic benefits, but also continued their national culture in the process of service. And this picture shows the user experience journey of this project. This picture shows the brand design of the project. And this picture shows the interface design of the tourist app. Finally, if you would like to further understand our project, you can scan the QR code on the picture to obtain more information. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. We have last one. Yeah, please.
And my pleasure to show this project to other disabled. Keyihui is one of the charity organizations in China. It helps the in according research, we found some pain stakeholder like the organization.
It doesn't.
Hello?
Hello, Ezio. We have the problem with connection, so I need to shift another computer.
Ah.
Now I can use mine. Wait a moment. Just wait a moment.
Yes.
What can we do? Okay, do you see the?
Yes.
Close it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we will continue. Please.
Okay. Just as I mentioned before, there are three major stakeholders in the Keyihui, like the disabled people, the charity organizations, and the designers. And we found some pain points and opportunity points for them. Like the disabled have a low income and are not well integrated into society, but they can create many beautiful paintings through the artistic healing. This painting a native art, obviously. So the opportunity is to use their native art to increase their income and enhance their sense of achievement and self-identity. For the charity organizations, their products lack of brand design specifications, so the designers can help to build it. For the designers, they do not understand the ability and the needs of the disabled, so they cannot design the products that are suitable for the disabled to manufacture. We need to help them to better understand the needs of charity organizations and the information about the disabled. According to the all pain points above, we proposed the concept of native art co-creation design platform, which integrating the native artwork of the disabled people gives them new values through co-creation, strengthening the connection between the disabled and the designers, and can also enhance their income and social integration and increase the society's understanding of them. Here is a further explanation of the development process of native art. Firstly, the disabled create the native art through the artistic healing activity. Then this art uploaded by the charity organizations workers. This generated as a library through the platform. Designer can find the native arts in this platform and secondly use them to the package of the friendly products. This is our platform Jiyu. Ji means connection, Yu means island, and Jiyu means giving. It is island that brings together the native art and connects this island of the disabled people. Here is a web page of the platform that we designed. From the workbench, the designer can search or browse the native art and use the visual design workbench to redesign them. This page shows the information of the charity organizations and the disabled. Designer can quickly upload the native work of disabled people for secondary design, which increase the income of the disabled. Here is a library of native art materials, which is a grant site. Finally, we use the website to secondary design a native art from one of the disabled people, transform it from a painting into a package of friendly products. We hope this platform can help more disabled people. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So we are very briefly they present the students' work in a very compressed way. Actually, it's not a very favorite moment to present the complete project. They have done a lot, but anyway, it could give a big picture of what we were working in the field of the local development and some share economic and also like the active welfare. Those projects we presented are all the one we are well connected with the local partners. Some are very traditional partners like 可议会 social lab, and some are very new. So if you have any comments or any question, we are very happy to answer. Ezio, you didn't open the mic.
Before I have some, I can do a very short comment. Leave the floor to some others. And first of all, thanks. Of course, as you can imagine, it is difficult to really enter in the specificity of each one of these projects because they was very short to be presented. But looking in general, I would say that in my understanding, you did a lot of progress since the beginning. So now you have a really, it's visible the capability to deal with complex issue at that one. You have a good relationship around in the territory around you. And all the project, even though I've not really understood everything, but the way in which they were presented and what we saw in the images is understandable that has been dealt with also a kind of good professionality. Maybe I would have some questions, but before I will stop here and see if there are somebody else that I see also in the chat. There are some comments. If somebody else wants to say something or ask something. There is somebody?
So Rita Engler, she said that it was very interesting and that all of our students in Brazil have similar projects. And maybe you could share now.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, it's just that today I have a huge problem with my internet, so I'm on the phone. That's why it's a little bit complicated for me. But yeah, I found it very interesting. And it is even more interesting because last semester I had some students who were also working on the sharing wheelchairs, but the approach was different. And I would like to hear a little bit more about this specific project, because I think this could help our students, because they were thinking about having wheelchairs to share in places like, for example, when you have a fair, when you have a community thing going on, and some old people, they don't go because they get tired. But so that this could be an interesting thing for the community to offer, so that they could promote social interaction with the eldest. And I thought it goes very close to the idea that they have, and maybe it could be interesting to put the two groups together.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. This project actually there's an NGO. This NGO, one of their project is about the wheelchair sharing project. It was particularly in the hospital scenario. And now they want to develop another extend the project to be the community-based project to serve more people who need the wheelchair by chance maybe, but not for long time needs. Yeah. So they will have a very simple version, 1.0 version, and we are going to develop the 2.0 version for that, and to make it more sustainable, because it's a kind of the charity project. They have no funding too much, so we need to try to make it how can I say, cost down and easy, very easy to sustain, maintain, and also involve the more stakeholders and volunteers and the users to be part of the management of the system. So this is our intention, the project that students propose. Okay. So I am wondering, when you say you have your students who's working on that project, is there something already there, or it's a totally new idea to do so?
No, it's totally new idea. They are trying to implement. And of course, in Brazil, we also have problems for funding. Yeah, this is always an issue here. Okay, so it will be very different, I think, if it's business-based or it's a charity-based. Because in our case, it's first of all, it's charity-based, so that the funding for the products, for the wheelchair, has been provided, has been donated. Yes, has been donated by the foundation or by the people. So that's okay. But it's actually we man focus on how to say, when it is become bigger and bigger, how to make it easy and cost down to maintain it and to manage it. So this is the challenge for our project in our case. So if it's totally new, it will be first challenge could be first funding to buy to build it because to buy a few the product, it's also cost some money. Yeah, the idea is to sell it to companies that could finance it, and well, just where the chairs would be, so that the people could come, there would be advertisements, and there would be the name of the company, and the company could put it on their social bill, and when they present it for their stakeholders. The idea is to ask for the private initiative to help funding it. Okay. Anyway, thank you. But I think we can let the students connect directly by themselves. Let's exchange the information, and they can chat each other. We have few students. That would be perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah. I will leave my message in the email message, so you can send me some information. I will reply with you afterward. I think that Sergio have some questions. Have questions? Yeah, please.
Hi, very interesting projects. I just was looking around the webpage of the university, and I found that you have some kind of transition design conference some years ago. And in one of the students' presentations, I found a scheme quite similar to the multiple level perspective. So I was wondering if you kind of include some of these approaches in your lab and in your projects.
Pardon? Yeah, I missed your last question.
Okay, if you are kind of using this transition design or multi-level perspective ideas in your lab or in the project that you are developing.
Okay, so those are the proposal. Those are design proposal from our course for the postgraduate. The course is the service design and social innovation. So, but it's those projects. It's not only the students' exercise. Actually, we are working together with our partners, with different partners for the different project on the foundation of our postgraduate course. We utilize the postgraduate course as a kind of platform to incubate the cooperation with partners, including the NGOs, charity organizations, and also some local authorities. Yes. I'm not sure if I answer your question.
Okay, yeah, kind of, because one of the projects I realized that you have a scheme, like really reminds me this kind of multi-level perspective in the analysis of the problem. I think it was from HSI, sorry for the name that he showed. But yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. I noticed that Professor Hu Jing is there.
Hello.
Professor. Yeah.
Hello, also Mazzini.
Long time no see.
Each other for a long
Professor.
time. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I can hear.
Yeah, that's very nice to see everyone again. You were here in Europe, I think, last 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Didn't get time to visit us. Can you hear me?
Professor, yes. Wait a moment. That's just a few students. They have to catch up the bus to go to the another campus. So they left early. Let's continue.
That's okay. That's very nice presentations. I think it's a refreshing that a lot of effort in this social innovation and sustainability, this kind of effort are still continued there. It's nice to see the efforts. If I have to make some comments, is that all the projects were present very nicely with the background and all the cultural background and the environmental informations, and also ended with a nice design or concept. What I missed actually in most of the presentations is that how the designs were made. So there's a background and then there's a design, and there's a lot of design decisions have been made in reaching that design at the end. How those design decisions were made specifically for a certain part of the functions or interfaces or services. Usually that presentation started with a very long story about the background, and then at the end there's one slide of the concept, and then I was waiting for more information about that concept, and then it ended.
Yeah. I see. They actually they of course they have much more process, much more than decision making process steps in the entire process what they have done for the project, for the proposal. but of course they can only present the limited. Actually, I suppose they only present the proposal as a result, but they also propose the kind of the background much more. So anyway, it's not the enough time to present the entire story of their project, but give a quick picture of them. I think what we were also discussed before, in such a kind of the very, how can I say, much complicated project, more than traditional design project, as a product or as a kind of a visual communication, how to understand the design scope, design role, design ability among the solution, among in the solution or in the proposals. I think somehow in those projects, as a designer, we try to play the role as much as possible in a different way. But we cannot definitely to say we are the best and favorite one to do everything. Of course not. So
No, we
how
are
to
just part of the
yeah, how to focus our strengths, how to enhance the strengths of the as a designer, our how can I say, our nature. So yeah, I think this is a very interesting discussion can be done. Thank you. Maybe Ezio can say something about that point.
I think then Zhang also have a question, so I will ask him to talk first.
Sorry.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Could you help me?
Yes, please. Sometimes.
Yeah. Hello, Ms.
Are you still in Netherlands?
Yes. Actually,
okay.
I have a question about one of your projects. I'm very interested in the project of e-campus that conducted in Lijiaxiang. Yes, it is very charming for me, and maybe for many people who lived in cities and are busy with their work all the day.
Yes.
And
I see.
Yes, it is very interesting. But I want to ask, why do you think the electronic cars can be the leverage point, and not other forms such as the traditional B&B? Then we can stay home and live in the villages, living with villagers, and how do in other words, how do you think of these wonderful ideas, the e-campus? Why not other forms?
Yeah, I think you have there's two levels. Is the e-camping based on the EV, if it's an interesting idea or solution. And another question is about why this, if it's interesting, why it linked to this place, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we were not so sure for the second question. Actually, we think this is a pretty interesting idea, but not necessarily have to be in that village, in that place. It can be in other places, so it can be replicated in any way. And the new condition is actually today, more and more people, especially young people, have the EV other than the traditional car. And the EV provide a kind of a new infrastructure, actually, as a kind of the big electronic based machine, and also the kind of the environment. So it will bring the new element and condition to kind of the lifestyle outdoor. So this is I think their ideas, their initials.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your.
Thank you. So do we have any other questions or comments? Welcome.
Getting back to the last answer that you made for me, I'm interested about how is the approach that you have in order to work with these NGOs or and companies or
excuse me,
associations?
Sergio,
yeah.
Could you near to the mic? The voice is not so clear. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, is it better now?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. I was wondering about how are you approaching to the NGOs? It's like the students are finding stakeholders in order to work, and they kind of approaching alone, or you are
okay.
Kind
That's
of
a good question.
Going with them and helping them in order to get this relationship.
Yeah, I see. Okay, it's case by case. Because we started the Desis lab, I think in 2009, so we have more than 13 years working experiences in this field. So we have a few traditional partners. For example, the wheelchair wheeling is belongs to an NGO called Ai Weilai. That was we have worked together for many years. So and we have very solid partner. Is one NGO called Ke Yi Hui. That has been incubated by ourselves from our lab. I'm actually advised by the Manzini. And it happens that the students also find the partner by themselves. So when we start the course, we will provide the partnership information and also some project initials to the students. They can select the project and partners from what we provided, or they can also work project that with the partner they define by themselves. Yeah, so it's a case by case.
Okay, thank you. I found that really bottleneck in the projects that we developed here in our lab. This starting the relationship. Thank you.
Yeah, it's for sure. It's very important condition to develop the partnership with local NGOs, companies, and authorities. For example, those villages we have worked together. Otherwise, it's could be difficult to go deep, go into deep in the context of the project. Thank you.
Thanks.
So, do we have something more? Yes, Ezio. Yes, please.
Well, I like to say something that is not the conclusion, so maybe somebody in the meantime can think some other questions. So this is only as a participant. First of all, is very what you said. The last answer that you gave is very interesting because it tells us something methodological. So it's very important to have a certain continuity and to build your reputation. So frankly speaking, one of the problems for designers when we work outside the normal things that people are accustomed to think that we can design a washing machine, a chair, a table, a lamp, a car. So when we move outside from this comfort zone, it's always very difficult to be recognized as somebody that can bring some contribution. And given that this is not simple to change this opinion, it's very important to have this kind of continuity and, of course, to have step by step some success. And I have the impression from what Miaozen is saying us that they have been capable to do this because, of course, I think, no, I'm sure because I was with you at the beginning, and to be recognized by the NGOs, to be recognized by institutions was very difficult in this kind of field. And now I listen that things are not so obvious, but are simpler. And they are simpler because, as Miaozen was saying, year by year, you have built your reputation. So this is one point that in the School of Design often is not so easy to accept because there are a kind of tradition that you have to change totally the argument, the topic every year. This is had some good motivation maybe many years ago, or maybe if what you do is more or less always the same kind of design. But if you want, I will say also service design in general, not only social innovation, but in general service design, there are a lot of service designers around, but often they are not designers because us as designers from the School of Design, we are not recognized as somebody that has something to say. So first of all, congratulations for this lab, for what you did, you, Miaozen, and all the other colleagues. And but this could be interesting also for the others. So it's not said that you have to design on the same field for decades, but at least for a sufficiently long time to consolidate your reputation, as I said, and to make people understand what we are capable to do. And what we are capable to do is one of the big problems, because when we move to this kind of topic, as the one that have been seen, for instance, today, as it has been said, they are super complex. So when it has been asked by Professor Yoon Hu, what is the process? I think that the main step of the process is to understand the complexity, and afterward, in some way, to find something to do in this complexity. And something to do, if we are designers, that is also something to do that we can do as designer. But in some way, we have not to try to reduce the complexity, but we have to try to find a kind of niche in which we enter into the complexity. And I don't know if I interpret correctly, but you presented the mainly projects related to some village local development. I think that practically all of them except two were related to a place. And of course, the place, if you look to the place as it is, it's the super high complexity that we have to face. But in each one of them, at least for what I understood, you choose an entry point. You choose something specific that could be the element on which to start the work of regenerating the place and the social and cultural community. So it could be the camping, as has been said, that of course it can be used also in other places, but you developed originally for that one. It could be to develop this idea about photos. I don't know what exactly was done, but you imagine something that through the photo could help the regeneration of this place. You use our capability in gaming. Of course, personally, I think that the gamification is one thing that can be done. We have not to exaggerate what is the potentiality of gamification in regenerating a village, for instance. But for sure, we have the possibility as designer to transform something in a gamified activity. So to use our capability as a designer of games, and the issue about the native art, to work on the native art and to use something that can be done, in this case, both for regenerate the place and regenerate the culture of the place, but at the same time, and most important in this case, to help and to give to some people with some disabled people to find satisfaction in doing something. So what I want to say, I don't know how you arrived. Maybe you arrived only intuitively without making a real theory, but it could be a kind, if not a theory, a kind of very strong reflection. So how to move from facing a problem that is very large and complex, and our role is not to be overwhelmed by this complexity, but to find an entry point, I call it. Or I wrote lately a book that is called Plugins. That means facing the complexity, we have to define a subsystem that we can plug in to introduce system to make something change. So that the value of what we do is not only the small, relatively small things that we do, is not only to make photos, is not only to have a game, is not only to have a e-camp, but what happens when I introduce this system, subsystem in the larger one. So this is the notion of plugins. And in my view, I will not say that this is the way in which I tell in the story the only one, but for sure, what you did and what you show is not to be paralyzed by complexity. We have to find a subsystem on which to work, having a clear idea that is a part of a larger system, but being the one in which we have the capability, the power also to intervene. And so for me, very, very interesting and happy to see that you do so much. And this has been a little satisfaction also for me, given that we did together a part of the journey.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. And not only we are accumulated our partnership, but our team also grow up as much. Now we have more than 20 students in the Desis lab focused on the field of the service design and social innovation related topics. So we have also much strong team to make the progress our work. By the way, I noticed that Professor Li Minqing from Tongji is here. 倪老师，倪老师在吗？ Okay. Ezio.
Yes.
Dear all, actually, before the end of the cafe, I would like to present something when we to respond the theme to let's meet up. And, actually, I want to show something about what we have meted up before, and look forward what we will meet up in the future. Wait a moment. This is coffee. Aspetta. Hello, do you see my PPT? Yes. So I would like to show you a few pictures. I select a few pictures that to check back the journal of Ezio Cross Jiangnan University and also China. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no picture. First of all, there's no picture, but just a picture of the document. Ezio, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Huh? Wait a moment. Wait a moment. 共享桌面是吧? There's some problem. There's a problem of my PPT, so I need to share screen again. 桌面是吧? 这个屏幕吗? Okay. Do you see that?
Yes.
I think we're seeing still the PowerPoint background screen.
Okay.
The other
So
one.
you see again, right? This is one. This is the first one. It's not picture of you, but it's a picture of the document.
This is
I think
it's really very old. It's before Miausen, this one.
No, yes, much before.
Before Miausen. So the
5
story
years
is
ago.
before and after
5
Miausen.
years before. It was done at the beginning of the 21st century. Okay, so there are a lot of the Chinese scholars.
I always think it was the same thing. So the Chinese Network on Design for Sustainability. This was
Yeah, it's just
one.
we just update. We just update. There's no something new, particularly new after your
No, there is
project program is
it's a lot of
completed.
new. But
Okay, now let's 6 years later. This is the picture I just run in my laptop. But of course, we have something more in the before. But this is one. We were in the Zhongshan University.
yes, and this
for
was
the TSA of China.
the Center for what was the name? The Center for
Zhongshan University, the civil society organization of Zhongshan University.
And you were a PhD student bringing me around in China.
Yeah. Yes, and then then at the beginning of the 2007, we were in the GAVA for the workshop. It's also for the GGSL.
Yes.
China. And actually, there's some students now. It's they are professors. Afterwards, they were professors in the GAVA. So you don't change anything more after that. You keep it the same. And this is 2008, and during the program of Cheetah 08, and we will report to you for our progress before going to China again. And 2009, you visited Jiangnan University with me, and we at that moment we funded Desis lab in Jiangnan University as a preparation for the Desis network as well. So it's pretty long. And this is a very classical moment for the Desis China. And this is a funding kickoff meeting of Desis China as a regional cluster of Desis network. Of course, you were not in the picture, but we are looking for you. We were talking to you. You are probably on the back of the screen. So now they are the pillars, the professor in all the universities. Then 1.5 years later, we have the second Desis China meeting in Shanghai. I think in Tongji, yes, as a very important event organized by Law. So this is also very classical one, as a kind of the the very how can I say iconic picture. And now this is particularly for me, and I was very happy after the final defense of my PhD dissertation at the beginning of the 2010, before coming back to China. And this is in the autumn of the 2010, we organized the first Desis symposium in Jiangnan University in 2010. So we have the panel discussion, including the Professor Hu Jun. 胡老师，胡老师，这有你啊！看照片。
对，看到了。
Yeah, Professor Hu was there. So we are keeping really old friends. And 2012, this is the Desis Symposium 2012. And this symposium is particularly important for us. In this symposium, the idea of the 可议会 has been proposed, and finally we developed it and incubated as independent NGOs. Now it's a very famous NGO as a branding leading NGO in Wuxi place. And at that moment, my colleague, Dr. Dong Yumei, were still the students, were still the postgraduate students involved in this symposium. Now, she is a professor in Jiangnan University. Actually, there were another one of our colleague called Sidi. Ezio, do you remember Sidi?
Oh, yes.
You remember my colleague, very young, as Shirley, yes, yeah. Shirley, my colleague. She was also the postgraduate students in another university, but she participated this symposium 2012. So she was so touched, so she decided to continue to study in this field. And finally, she's also now our associate professor in the School of Design. So that's so make something so different. A very good event can change the life, the career track of our. Okay, let's skip as many events that Ezio supported and involved together with us, and to be the 2018. There, when we organize the cumulus Wuxi conferences, and this event is an important part of it. We were together with Carla Cibola, we organized exhibition, and we organized this seminar, workshops, and so forth. So this is one picture, and I think we have all the students has graduated, and now it's in they are working in the society, in the companies already. And the last years actually, since 2010 to 2020, we have to organize online the Desis symposium as last year. So we have meet up many times, but we missed also 3 years. What will happen in 2023? What happened this year? For sure, I think we must meet up again. Maybe in Beijing, maybe somewhere. So looking forward to to meet up all our friends and Desis partners in the near future. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miaozen. I'm moved. Thank you so much. 20 years of my life. My God. Okay, so I think that maybe we are also at the end of our cafe. There is somebody else that would like to add something? Or we stop? Do we stop here? Yes?
Yeah, is there anything anyone would like to?
No?
say something more? Yeah, actually, there are many stories of the long journey of Ezio in China in the last 20 years, 30 years, as far as I know. Before the 2000, I didn't know. I have no idea what Ezio is working for China. But after 2000 years, I know almost most of them. So, but I only can very limited picture to show a little bit for that. We hope we can work together with Chinese partners in Desis network to really show up the more complete stories and to really, because we all appreciate your contribution to our design education and design research, particularly in the field of the design for sustainability. Yes.
Okay, thank you. No words to answer to these fine words that you said. So thank you to everybody. And it was interesting as always. In this case, very interesting to see how this lab can work and become mature. So congratulations on my side. And thank to everybody else, and see you in the next one. Will be in the Nordic countries in Europe, and see you soon, and maybe in China, hopefully again. Ciao.
Ciao. 谢谢，胡老师，谢谢啊，
再见，
经常谢谢各位，再见，
拜拜。
拜拜。拜拜。